What's up? I'm Joey, and this is part of an interview series powered by Taiwan's only all-English radio station and all-English streaming platform. It's ICRT TaiwanPlus. Today, I'll be speaking with a friend, a performer who's been in Taiwan for a long time. So let's talk to杜力today. Hello, what's up?
What's up?
Where are you from,杜力? I never actually asked you a question.
I'm actually from Phoenix, Arizona,
Okay.
but now I'm a resident of Oklahoma. And by the way of Chiayi, Taiwan, and currently residing in Taipei.
Yeah, that's right. How long have you been in Taiwan? I mean, and what brought you to Taiwan?
You know, I've been in Taiwan 19 years. It's a long time. And I never thought or even imagined I would be here so long. Originally, I just came here it was a Bush economy when I left America at that time. President Bush was in office, and I was thinking, let me just graduating from university. I said, let me get a change of pace. Let's go see what the world is like. And so I came to Taiwan, and I came here to teach English, and Taiwan never let me go.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Taiwan's like a black hole. Like, it sucks people in. I've heard that story so many times. People saying, I never thought I would stay on this island for more than a couple of years.
Right.
And then bam, 19 years gone by.
No, it's hard to imagine, that something like just moving to another country and seeing something new, and then life happens and get in relationships, and then you get opportunity to go to school, and then something else happens. Next thing you know, you're starting a business and life goes on. Then you're just here, and you're here almost nearly half of my life I've been in Taiwan.
You started as a teacher, teaching English, I'm guessing.
Right.
And at what point did you go on to start having a performing career?
That was a very serendipitous, is that the right word? Just a strange situation that just kind of happened out of the blue. I was teaching English, of course, and then one of my coworkers, he had started like a 60s rock band, and he was like, hey, do you want to come play the piano in my 60s rock band? And I was like, yeah, well, I guess I can come play or whatever. And then we had this one show. He was like, hey, I really want you to sing this song. And I was like, okay, cool. I sang it at this nightclub in Taichung. And the next thing I know, those guys came and got me. They were like, hey, do you want to come sing in our band? 70s funk band. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then next thing I know, like a Taiwanese agent saw, and he was like, well, do you want to come sing at a live house in Taiwan full time? And I was like, okay, sure. And then I was in Macau, and then singing in Macau for a couple years.
Oh.
And I came back to Taiwan, and then things just happened. It just fell in place. And every time I just kept saying, next year, I'm moving back to America. And I've been saying that for the past 19 years, and I ain't left yet.
I would say soon after that, you came back to Taiwan and became a celebrity. There's a lot of like talk show format variety shows here in Taiwan. And you started to attend some of those, and people started to absolutely love your presence. Is that how it started with the talk shows?
Actually, no, it started with a singing show.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I was singing in Kaohsiung, and then somebody from TV called me. They were like, hey, do you want to come up and what do they call it? Like a PK side. What is that? Like a one-on-one?
Yeah.
Whatever. How do you say that in English?
You would say, or if you're European, PK is penalty kick.
Okay.
Basically. If a competition runs for a while and you need someone to come in for a little PK to like just go one-on-one and showdown. Yeah, that's what we call it.
Okay,
PK
a showdown. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I went on a TV show to do a showdown, and I sang a Wang Lihong song, Forever Love.
Oh.
And actually won. And I was completely surprised by that. And then just more opportunities came. And next thing I was on some talk shows, and then some cooking shows and some game shows. And and that's just the way it works. I think just sometimes life just falls in place for you.
Well, it just so happens that you're a man of different talents too. That's how you can straddle all of these different shows. And you have a very big personality that people tend to like drawn to. So what's it like to traverse the entertainment industry here in Taiwan? Are there rules about working here in Taiwan, like hidden rules that you didn't know about? That's more cultural. That when you learn, you're like, oh, okay, so that's how you break into the industry.
I never, ever even thought or dreamed of or had any type of hope of being on TV. Like this was never a plan of mine. And it's not ever something, it's never been something that I've wanted, actually. It's just something that just happened to come. So I've been fortunate enough to kind of be able to roll with the punches. I think one of the most difficult things that I have to deal with being on TV in Taiwan is just being able to control my black man. You have to keep your black man in control, because sometimes you hear some things, somebody will say something, and you just really want to just go ahead and be yourself and just cuss somebody out or choke somebody out. But you just can't do that, right? You can't just choke somebody on TV, right? So I've kind of learned to, and that also spills over into my real life situations. You know, like sometimes my neighbors will say something, or somebody will approach me on the street and with a rude comment, or like just last week, I was driving down the street and this lady just came and knocked on my window, and I was stopped at a red light and she was on a scooter. She just came and knocking on my window, and she was just and started yelling at me. And I was like, do I cuss her out or do I just keep my mouth shut? And then sometimes my agent will be with me, just like, stay calm, just relax, don't say anything, because you don't want to end up on the news, or you don't want to end up getting a bad reputation or something like that. So yeah, I try to keep my black man down, but sometimes I just can't control myself.
I gotta quote you on that. You can't choke somebody on TV, but I guess here and anywhere else, right? You just can't choke. You tend to not choke people on TV. I think that American or European passion can be a little too much for Asian. Right? Do you find that?
Yeah, especially, you know, there's this whole thing about face and giving face to somebody, especially somebody who is, you know, like your, I don't know, what's the thing, Chinbei, like your predecessor or your, something like that. Somebody who's, you know, been in the industry, in the game, somebody been in the game for a while.
Right, the OGs, right?
The OGs, there you go. You got to be extra respectful to those guys. You have to tell them, you know, go or something like that. And that's something that, that's not really in my culture, at least. That's not something that I have a tendency to do. It doesn't mean that I don't respect you. It just means that I think that we're both people and we should have some mutual respect.
Yeah, I hear you.
So even though they say something crazy, like they'll make a remark about black people, or they'll make a remark about Americans or something, I'm like, well, we're not a monolith. We're not all the same. Yeah. You know, we have different experiences. Yes, I'm black and I'm from America, but I'm also in Taiwan for 20 years. Or, you know what I mean? We're multifaceted, right? And so we have to learn to control our tempers and control our mindset and just kind of remain extra humble, I think.
That is a tough thing to do, isn't it? To be diplomatic when you're on a TV show, for example, right?
Right.
Since you just mentioned this, sometimes you come across this during the show. Have you ever experienced discrimination here in Taiwan, and in what form do they come?
I definitely have experienced some discrimination here in Taiwan, but I try not to think on it, because something that happened to me about 2 years ago, maybe about 2 years ago, I had posted something on Instagram and it got picked up by the news. And of course, you have some fans who support you, but you also have some people, you know, who are always, no matter what you do, they're going to be against you. And they started saying things like, why don't you just go back to Africa? Or I'm like, well, I've never even been to Africa. What do you mean go back to Africa? Or go back to your own country? And I'm just thinking to myself, well, how old are some of these people? Are they 14 years old? So I've been in Taiwan longer than some of these people who are making comments about me.
Right.
And then I start thinking to myself, well, maybe someday I'll get my Taiwanese citizenship, but no matter what, I'm always going to be treated as a outsider. I'm going to be an outsider in this society. That's just the way things just are. But then I had to take a moment just to personally do some reflection on the inside and just think to myself, well, wait a minute. I've been operating from a situation of privilege myself, because I haven't had the same experience that other black people have had, you know, where maybe they cannot get a job because teaching English just because they're black. I never had that experience. And I have some friends of mine who maybe their English is absolutely phenomenal, but because they come from Haiti or because they come from a Caribbean country, they cannot get a job here so easily. Oh, right? Because their actual mother language might be French.
Right, yeah, or Creole.
Or Creole, or whatever the case is. And they cannot get a job here teaching English, but I never had that experience.
Yeah, you're right. 19 years in Taiwan, but there's always that distance. You're always going to be treated as an outsider, at least to the homegrown, you know, like the Taiwanese OGs, that they're going to see you that way. And I guess you belong to a group of pioneers, of outsiders, of Laowai, who are going to help Taiwanese people to better understand about the world. Do you understand that?
Absolutely.
You know that's your role?
I'm so grateful for having that role. There's just not a whole lot of different cultures mixing in with Taiwanese people, but I think things are changing. And I think things are going to get better, especially, you know, with the younger generation, Taiwan being the first country in all of all of Asia to allow for, same-sex marriages. Oh, how progressive is that? I mean, who would ever thought that would be coming into Taiwan? Really? So Taiwan is changing. I think it's just going to only get better with time.
In the meantime, hang on with us. We're making progress slowly but surely. And now you are also making progress in your career. So when I first met you, you were a performer. You were an English teacher, I'm sure. When we first met, you were still doing that part-time. And then you started to become a celebrity here in Taiwan and a show host. You host your own shows now. And I hear that you started your own business here in Taiwan as well.
Actually, a lot of people don't know this, and I never was very vocal about it. I've had my entertainment company for about 8 years now.
Oh, really?
Right. So I do a lot of weddings and things like that. And end of the year parties or stuff like that. We do our own organization for that stuff. But a lot of people didn't know that. And I've just kind of started just saying, okay, well, forget it. Let me just be open and honest about it. Yes, that's what I do. That's one of my businesses. And then recently I just started my own chocolate line.
Wait. What kind of chocolate are we talking about? Like milk chocolate or what?
Dark chocolate, 70% dark chocolate. It's
healthy
from,
stuff, yeah?
Yeah, Peru. The first product is healthy. I'm also coming out with some new things. I just launched about maybe 2 months ago, And so we're working on some new products. Everything's going to be related to chocolate for the most part. So we just started off with little dark chocolate pieces. It's called Duke chocolate. Let me show you. I got a little bag right here. Right.
Oh, wait, that's a Duke K, right?
Duke K. Yeah, well, but it's Duke K, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So this is my little
that looks
brand.
Nice.
And we got 4 flavors. And hopefully next month we'll have some new things dealing with chocolate coming out. We got some new cookies and hopefully some brownies and things like that.
Is Duke available on shelves in Taiwan, or are you guys doing wholesale right now?
We're only selling online at the moment.
Okay.
I'm not planning on getting a store. Rent in Taiwan is absolutely crazy. Ridiculous, especially in Taipei.
But hey, I hope your business keeps on going well, and I hope we can see Duke chocolate everywhere here in Taiwan. If people want to follow your ventures, do they go to your IG and Facebook, or do you have other channels?
You can catch me on Instagram, on Facebook. Of course, both my entertainment company, Exclusive Taiwan. Let me put a little plug on that.
Nice.
Exclusive Entertainment, and then Dukeli is the Chinese for my Duke chocolate.
Chocolate.
Duke chocolate, yeah. Dukeli chocolate. Isn't that cute? Isn't that a cute little name?
That's a play on your name, right? Dukeli.
Yeah. So they catch me on any of those social. What do they call them? Social website. What is it called? Socials. It's strange whenever I come back. When I go back to America, at first I'm just stumbling you have their little slang that you use with your family or your friends like that. And then you catch back onto it. Then when you come back to Taiwan, it's like, oh, I feel like myself again. And then you try to speak Chinese and everything is, it's never smooth. It's never smooth. It's always like I'm in between 2 places at all times.
Yeah, it's a linguistic jet lag, and it lasts a lot longer than just a couple of days when you travel between the two.
That's a good linguistic jet lag. I like that. I like that.
That's our conversation with Duli. And if you want to follow more, come to TaiwanPlus.com or come to ICRT's website. And if you want to follow Duli and all of his ventures, including exclusive entertainment Taiwan, right?
Right.
And Duke Li Chao Li. Hopefully you can grab a couple of his chocolate bars and other products. To give him some supports. And do follow him on Facebook, Instagram, social media. That's where you should follow him. That's the word we're looking for.
Social media. We couldn't even think about that. So strange.
I know.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, man. Thank you for joining us here today.